Overloaded is too kind. She should just be firm and say, sorry, I can't do it. A lot of us feel that, we want to be problem solvers. We want to try and help our boss to solve their problem, right? But the problem is, if we keep plugging the holes, your boss will not even know there's a hole to begin with. We hope you have been enjoying our Ask Me Anything segment so far. Now, today's question is from our listener, Overloaded. Just the name alone makes my heart go out to her, honestly. Overloaded says that she's a relatively new hire and this is only her 4th month in the job. But she says none of her work days are without OT or overtime. Her boss keeps giving her new tasks and says that she's trying to find a suitable salesperson to assist Overloaded. While it's not the first job that Overloaded feels overloaded, the stress, she says, is already starting to take a toll on her health. And when her boss sees that she's unwell, the boss tells her to instead work from home, not rest from home. So Overloaded wants to know, how do I put it in a nice way to tell my boss that this is the maximum I can handle for now?
Wow, very relatable. I think to many people.
Yeah.
The most people will think just quit lah. Just quit and just change the situation, run away from this horrible boss, right? If today you are in her shoes or his shoes, Overloaded shoes, right? What would you recommend?
Overloaded is too kind. Because what does she mean by I want to say in a nice way? I mean, she should just be firm and say, sorry, I can't do it. I mean, what's the boss going to do, right? Fire you? She hasn't found another person to replace you. But okay, so sometimes it's okay, I feel, to not fix the problem. A lot of us feel that, we want to be problem solvers. We want to try and help our boss to solve their problem, right? But the problem is, if we keep plugging the holes, your boss will not even know there's a hole to begin with. Or your boss, might feel that, you know what, this is okay. I've patched the problem for now. So there's no need, honestly, I feel, to be your boss's solution. That's what your boss is there for. So maybe I think perhaps your boss might be stalling on finding extra help because you are plugging the hole for them.
So we kind of agree that Overloaded should not continue down this track.
Yes, I think the primary premise is that she needs to say something.
Yeah, but I agree with that. There are limits to all of us, and if it affects your health,
yes,
I think don't joke with it.
Yeah,
don't joke with it because it's not worth it. When you are sick in bed, right, and then you're constantly worrying about has the work been completed? I think that's not worthwhile.
Yeah.
You're not paid enough to go through that kind of anguish.
Yeah, I think the best advice other people have ever given me before is to never see yourself as indispensable.
Yeah.
Other people can also do it. Your boss also can step in as well. I think the once you have this messiah complex, it's a bit hard to get out of it.
Yeah. So Tiffany, if today you are now Overloaded's boss. Let's say you role play here, Overloaded's boss, and you have to have this conversation with Overloaded.
Okay.
And how would you want Overloaded to tell you?
Honestly, I would like them to be very transparent with me. I think all bosses, like every human being, we have our own blind spots, you and I included, right? So especially people who are very driven by their goals, they tend to forget the people along the way or the processes because they are just focused on the end goal. So for me personally, I feel that, and I think a lot of bosses would appreciate it too if you can help to point out some of their blind spots, but of course in a nice way. I'll go first and then you can tell me what would your method be. So I would say that I would go up to the boss and find a good opportunity, maybe something a bit more casual, less confrontational, and I say, can I have a quick word with you? Then I would do what I have always been doing, the sandwich method. So I start with, the good. So I'll say that thank you so much for acknowledging my strengths. I remind them that why I'm an asset. And then I will go down to the next layer, which is the bad, the meat of it. I'll give the feedback. I will say, this is how I'm feeling right now. Okay, I'm tired. It's affecting my health. I haven't been, having my own free time. I will need some extra help. So ask the boss, when is this extra person coming? And if not, is there any tasks that they have listed for you? Anything that can be deprioritized? I end with the good as well. So remember, good, bad, good. So I end with the good by saying, I know it's not easy for you to, find a replacement, but I'm aligned. We are aligned to achieve the same goals. So I would still like to help you along the way. I'll still be able to work hard. It's just that I'm not able to do at the capacity you're asking me to do.
Yeah. I think what you just articulated is a very constructive way. It's also a very respectful manner of honoring your boss as well, and looking out for how they're feeling, and at the same time stating your point. I've heard cases of people who do the extreme. They throw the letter.
Oh, okay.
They throw a letter and
so
say,
the boss is like, huh? What's
what
going
happened?
on suddenly?
I cannot take it already.
I see.
I have to leave. It's like a sudden shock to them, and then they say, okay, I better not push my employee so hard. If not, they will leave. So I've seen that done before.
Okay.
I've also seen how a little bit of a nuanced method, not so drastic, but maybe more of like a boss, I really need to tell you that I cannot hang on for too long. Maybe at this rate, I can only sustain for a few more months. And if not, I really might think that this is not a suitable job for me.
Okay.
So you're giving your boss the advance notice.
Yeah.
So then you give your boss also some time to see how to really maybe speed up the hiring and reduce the workload. But I also feel like what you mentioned just now that's particularly important is like the part about the resting from home versus working from home when you're not well. It's really crossing a line for overloaded, right? Then maybe you might want to really raise that at a specific point to say that, this thing is a no-no.
Yes.
Like if today I'm not well, right, I really cannot work.
Yes.
I really feel affected that that you're asking me to still work.
Yes.
It shows that you don't regard me as a person, you don't regard my safety.
Yes.
And it really makes me feel very discouraged.
Yes.
Right. I think that's something that we can say.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, because that's a limit that shouldn't be crossed.
Yes, I agree. So overloaded, please remember that your health is of utmost importance. There's nothing else that is more important than your health. So prioritize that, and if need be, draw very, very, very clear boundaries with this boss of yours. Don't worry, she or he is paid enough to solve the rest of the problems for you. If there are other questions that you have, like overloaded, you can write into us. We are at cnapodcasts@mediacorp.com.sg. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, where a video version of this is at.
I'm Gerald.
And I'm Tiffany. Have a healthy and super work week ahead.